It doesn't matter what other people think about me. It doesn't matter what I think about me. It doesn't matter like how fast or slow I'm on my pace of life. Like, I feel like as long as I have goals and something that I'm striving for, I'm at peace. I also think it's a little bit of like confidence in my work too, like with acting, because I hold a lot of my self-worth just with acting. And that's hard, but I feel like that's kind of natural as an actor.
Can be.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do like the law of detachment thing, because I feel like if you obsess over things, it never happens. Like it's always the roles that I'm like, I want this so bad, I'll give you my kidneys, and they'll never give me a call back. But it's the roles that I'm like, this is really cool, I'm gonna do it and forget about it. And then 5 months later, I get a call back or I book it, and I'm like, wait, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So I feel like it's just a big like mental push and pull for me.
Hey guys, welcome back to the DNA podcast. I am your host, Douglas Nyback. Today we have a treat, a friggin' treat. Her name is Eliana Jones. Eliana is probably the most unapologetically herself human being I have ever met. And she's actively filming the new season of Shoresy. She's on like all of the seasons of Shoresy. She has worked extensively with Eli Roth in like Trick VR Treat, Hemlock Grove. There's a show that she is now going to be on that we can't talk about right now that is extremely exciting, but it was her first like straight up offer for a lead, and it's super, super, super cool. And I've been working with Eliana for, man, probably about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, and she works unbelievably hard. She is one of the most unique personalities that I have ever come across. She's one of those people whom loves acting so much that a world without it feels impossible. And that puts her into a place of tremendous success. She brings life and levity to every session that I do with her, and certainly to this conversation. In my opinion, she is a star who is about to pop. I am so grateful, to be able to be a part of her journey as a coach, and I'm incredibly grateful that we get to chat with her at this period in her life, because I think in the next year or so, she's gonna be launched into a whole new echelon, and she's already in a high echelon, so this is super exciting. In this one, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, it's very funny. She's hilarious, and it also is such like a deep dive into the meat grinder of what it is to be an actor who is super busy and living in LA and dealing with all of the hardships of the ups and downs of this industry. It's a delight. She's a delight, and every time I talk to her, my life gets better, so I'm looking forward to her making your lives better too. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. Eliana!
That's me.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is such a treat for me because I work with you almost entirely on Zoom.
Yeah,
because you're in LA.
Yep.
And now you're here for a little hot sec.
Yes, which is such a treat.
Yeah.
Yes, I was filming Shoresy in Sudbury, so that was really fun. I love being on that show. It's a nice little like, it's like a breath of fresh air. I love it.
Yeah.
I love seeing like the same people, because it's on season 5 now, so like it's the same crew, the same cast, same hair and makeup, like I love that it's a little family, so that's really nice. That's,
I think, one of my favorite things that I think is pretty rare in film, because so often you just like come in, you're a cog in a wheel, and you leave, and you're like, okay, cool, I did my job. I think, did I do good? Hard to tell, and also I feel a little like used, you know?
Yep, exactly.
You're just like thrown into the street after.
And it's always like, I'm such an awkward person, so it's always the worst for me when I'm walking in, I'm like, hi, I'm Ellie. Hi, I'm Ellie. Hi. It's just so uncomfortable for me, but that's just me internally.
Well, it's funny because your character on the show is like confidence embodied. Like,
I know. I think I've spoken with you about this like since I started acting when I was 12, and I feel like it's always been like a switch that I just turn on and off internally. But I'm like a very like shy and awkward and uncomfortable girl in real life.
Right. I think a lot of actors are like that.
Yeah, I hope so. So it's not just me.
Yeah. There's like an interview with Jesse Eisenberg. Flirting or
obsessed.
Like
I relate to him so much.
Yeah, he's like actors. It feels like for some reason we're being asked to be like also public personalities.
Yes.
And it's like so much of what makes actors is actually pretty antithetical to that.
Yes, and I'm like exhausted by the end of the day. I'm like, wow, I really gave out my whole personality today. My battery's on 0. So
would you say you're like a relatively introverted person?
Yes, I'm a big like homebody. I am very introverted, but then it's just like, I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it. It's just like I have to be in the right mood, and then I'm so extroverted. I have to be around the right people. I think I just need to feel safe. Sure. And then I can go wild. So that's cool. Nice for me. But it's a big teeter-totter. I don't know what personality I'm going to get.
It's probably a useful...
Is that a diagnosis?
I don't know. It could be. It's probably a useful superpower as an actor.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that a diagnosis?
It might be. Let me know.
Yeah. So you got started young.
Yeah.
How did you get, like, what led you into the land of acting?
It's a very weird story, and if you know my mom, it's even funnier. But so I was like a gymnast my whole life, my whole life since I was like probably in second grade to 11, and then I got this, like, I thought I was gonna be an Olympian. It was never happening, like at all. I was not that good.
You weren't like horrifically traumatized enough? Yeah.
No, yeah, I needed more bullying. Bring bullying back, 2025. So I did gymnastics, and then I got this crazy spinal injury. Like, I had bruised tissue around my spinal cord, and my doctor said that it was stunting my growth, and I was just like, I'm not good enough to be.
Was it like a thing happened, or
I was doing like a floor routine. We were practicing for competition, which I quit right before. And I did a floor routine. I was supposed to do, like, I think it was like a pike, and I landed wrong on my foot, and I felt this, like, it just shot up right my back. And then I had bruised tissue around my spinal cord, and my doctor said, no bueno, don't do it anymore. You're not going to the Olympics, let's be real here. And
savage doctor.
Yeah, savage, but like
he's
valid.
Not a gymnast.
Yeah,
he's like, girl, you don't have it.
It's not happening. And I was like, yeah, that's all right. And then I didn't have anything to do with my days like that. Like, I was going to gymnastics for like 5 hours after school, and then my parents didn't have to deal with me. Right. So my mom was like, what else are we going to do? Like, what else interests you? Soccer? No. Like, any sports, I was like, absolutely not. No chance. I would be picking dandelions at the soccer games, and it was a nightmare.
Right.
And then my mom heard this ad on the radio for, I'll drop the name, John Robert Powers, and they were a scam, but at the time we didn't know they were a scam. So it was like, come in and like do acting classes or like do a commercial audition, whatever. My mom was like, would you be down for that? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm not doing anything else. I may as well. And I walked in and I was so intimidated, and there were so many girls and so many boys, and like, it just felt like very Hollywood vibes. And I was like, wow, this is a world that I did not know existed. And I was very intimidated and very shy. And I was like, there's no way that I can do this. And then I started those acting classes. And like, while the whole school ended up being a scam, I still got acting classes out of it.
How was it
I need to look back on it, because it was a big thing where they were just like,
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, they were taking a lot of money from parents, including my parents, which is really sad. And like $10,000 for like an acting class.
Oh.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And my beautiful parents paid it because I really wanted to do it, and we got half of the money back, so that was good. So I started doing auditions, and I was doing acting classes, and then I found David Ritchie,
yes,
my lovely agent that I've been with since I was 11 years old, which is crazy. And he just started sending me out on auditions, and it kind of just started falling into place. And then I vividly remember I wanted a BlackBerry phone so badly, and my mom said, if you book a role, we can get you a phone. And I said, cool. I'm very goal-oriented. And I auditioned for Nikita 2 days later, and I had one line. It was, Papa. And I booked it, and I said, where's the BlackBerry? And then I went on set for that. I was on set for like 12 hours for one line, and I just fell in love with it. I was just like, this is so freaking cool. I can't believe that I get to skip school and do this. And I just had the best time ever. And after that, I was just like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. Like, I'm going to put all of my creative juices into it. Yeah. And I guess the rest is history.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how old were you when that started?
So I booked Nikita when I think I was 11 or 12.
Okay.
And then I can't remember what I did after that, but I was getting so many auditions, and I remember being like, oh, like, I don't care when my next one's coming. Like, I just know it's coming. Cut to 27. I'm like, hello. Does anybody have a job?
Says the girl who just got off of a
That's
job.
fair. That's fair. I'm very self-deprecated. I'm unlearning that.
You are indeed. Yeah. That's something we've had to work on coaching.
Yeah, still working.
Yeah.
It's hard for me, but yeah.
Cool. That's pretty young to get on your first set. And then did you work consistently until you got Hemlock, or
so
was it?
I honestly, I should have looked up like the way, like, what I did after Nikita, but I think that Hemlock Grove was after that. So I was just auditioning. I was going to school. I was at an art school. I would barely be there, which made me really happy because I did not like school.
Sure.
I just wanted to be on set, honestly. And I think then I booked Hemlock Grove, and that was crazy too, because that's when Netflix kind of just started coming out. Yeah. So like House of Cards just came out, and then Hemlock Grove was going to be the next one, to my knowledge, I think. Mm-hmm. And I remember being a little brat, and I was like, Netflix? Like, what is Netflix? Like, nobody's going to watch that. Like, I vividly remember saying that to myself.
And now everyone's just
and
like,
now,
can I
and now,
please get...
I'm like, Netflix?
Pop a Netflix
Hello?
call.
Call me, please.
Why don't you call anymore?
I'm like,
you went out
everyone's
for
watching
cigarettes
it.
and you never came back.
Exactly. I'm here with an empty cigarette, no lighter. Yeah, and then they did Hemlock Grove, and that was like original series. It was crazy. Eli Roth, it was insane to work with him. And every set that I would go on after that, I was just like, this needs to be my life. Like there's no other route for me.
Right.
So that's kind of the path that I've been trekking on since then. I'm like, this just needs to happen, and I'm going to find any way to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've worked with Eli a bunch now.
Yeah, so I did that with him, and then we kind of stayed in contact, and then he did Trick VR Treat, which was like the first, I don't know if it was the first, but like I think one of the first like VR films.
Yeah.
And that I was so excited to be a part of that because it was so cool, and just like the way that we shot it was so cool, and I love horror films. I love gory, I love blood. That was weird, but I love it all. So I was really happy to be on that and like reconnect with him, and he's just so like sick in the mind in a good way.
Yeah.
That I jive with that so much. So
yeah.
I really love being on set with him.
I remember coaching you for that.
Yeah, we did work on that together.
And us trying to figure out like, what if like, because it's like the coverage is everywhere.
Exactly.
Like there is no coverage.
Yeah.
It's wherever the player
it was
is
it was really hard for me, because I was getting into a habit of like leaning forward a little bit, and then it kind of looked like my head was like it's like a fishbowl lens.
Yeah.
So it was looking a little weird. So it was a lot of like technicalities. But Shoresy's kind of like that too. Like it's a lot of just like little things that you don't think about that are going into the show. Like in Shoresy, I have to be completely still, and like blinking is a choice.
Say more.
Yeah, so like I think that like the way that Jered likes it to, like the comedy in Jered's writing in the shows is just like blunt and just like to the point and just like very straight, and I very much like talk like this.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's really hard for me not to, and I blink a lot. And I remember getting on set and he was just like, keep it still, try not to move, and just say the words. And everything just like falls into place, and it's just so much funnier because the words are so out of pocket that when it comes off just blank and like flat, it's so funny. But it was hard for me to learn stillness.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, one, your work on the show is fantastic.
Thank you. I love playing her. She's so silly.
Yeah, and like it's very clear why they brought you back over and over and over again.
But that's also all you. Like we work on that together so much. So. Be real.
Though I appreciate that you consider me a part of your process. I'm not the one up there doing it.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
It
Thank you.
is at the end of the day.
But I would not be able to have, I always say this to you, I feel like you, like even just at the base of it, you just create such like a confidence level that like the weird little things about me are things that I can use to be funny or like make things better and work better. So even just that layer of like giving me the confidence to like lean into things is a big part for me.
This is a big thing that I think you're such like a fascinating test case for this. This is like
the diagnosis.
Yeah, well, because first of all, are you comfortable talking about like aesthetic as a, you know?
Yeah.
Because you are, like you have such quirk to you.
Yeah, and I'm leaning into it because I didn't realize that that's what it was. I was like, I think I'm just a little weird. But it's quirky.
Yes.
But it's weird. It's quirky.
but also that like weirdness is a superpower, and this is something that I think. Like,
yeah, you've always said that to me.
Yeah, and for you it does. Like, listen, if Danny DeVito is weird, everyone's like, that fucking makes sense.
Danny DeVito, I
right?
love you.
Yeah, what's not to love about Danny? But for you, obviously, it can operate a little bit antithetically to how the immediate visual archetype that you represent is, which is like at the end of the day, the industry is the industry. And, but what's cool is that I think over the past couple of years, we've been freeing you up to just like allow your personality to manifest, sometimes in juxtaposition to how you're translating in a role. And you're like, if you're not booking, you're getting close to almost everything.
Yeah, and like that's what I say.
Right,
it's like that's really the only thing that keeps me going, because if I wasn't getting close to things, I'd be like, I feel like I need to wrap it up here, because at what point do you say, okay, this is not sticking anymore? But
that's
because
a good question,
I get
actually,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is, and I ask myself every day.
I'm not saying it's a relevant question to you, but I'd love to unpack that.
Yeah, we can unpack it. Think about it every day. So if I wasn't getting close to things, and it's like, it's superficial, but it's still like a little bit of recognition for like my work, like getting a callback or getting a test deal or doing a screen test or even getting on like a director session Zoom call with people. I'm just like, okay, I got it a little bit. Maybe it's not fully there yet, but like at least it's kind of there and people are recognizing my work and it's good.
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly right for that part, and that's been a big pill for me to swallow. But my work is still good because I'm trying my best.
Yeah. And
so that's all I can offer.
You're working really hard.
Thanks, yeah. And that's also a testament to you too, because you whip my ass in shape.
You needed a bit of direction.
Yes, because I feel like because I started so young, I was just like, this is just like falling into place. Like I could just look at the script, it's whatever. Like once I turned like 19, I realized that I had to shift into like, you actually need to put more work in. You're not just like a cutesy little girl that's gonna get cast because she's like has a good little personality and she's bubbly and has 2 lines to say.
Right.
So it was like relearning that like I actually need to put in work. And I think about it a lot. I think that a lot of my life I've been like, okay, if I don't try as hard as I can, if I fail, then it's like, oh, I didn't really like try that hard, so it's fine. Saying that out loud is big for me.
Yeah, and also like a very, very valid, like I think a lot of people subconsciously, like there's this big, like it's a big 2025 narrative of like the power lived in you the whole time. And it's like, there is truth to the, if you actually back yourself 100%, you're capable of so much more.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you're being rejected for your best. Yeah. And our industry is just so much rejection.
You just have to get comfortable with it. And that's also what you've taught me. You were just like, you have to try your hardest, because then it's like, you're not going to wonder what if I actually put in my 100%, maybe I would have booked it. Whereas it's like, I put in 100%, they didn't love it, or I wasn't right for the part, you have to move on.
Yeah. Well, what is it? There's like most of the male actors in like their 40s and 50s now are all like, almost all of them in interviews at some point have said like, I'd like to thank Leonardo DiCaprio for passing on this one.
Yeah, literally.
Because it's just like, you're just not Leo. Like
literally,
he's
I'm
the
like,
first offer
Sydney
for everything.
Sweeney, could you please pass on a role?
Seriously.
And give it to me.
Yeah. But like that's it's a funny thing, but when you're actually living that reality, it's kind
so
of like
odd.
Like you're like never wanted, not really, because it's just Leonardo DiCaprio that's wanted. Everybody else is a second choice.
Yeah.
Like Matt Damon is the second choice for Oppenheimer.
Like, are you kidding me?
It's like, you know,
yeah, like that would be a tough one for me to swallow. I've been locking myself in my house for 3 weeks.
I know.
So kudos to them.
so it makes sense that like as a means to protect ourselves, we create this like, well, if I'm not fully all in, then I can't fully fail.
Yeah.
Because we fail daily, and that's like the of auditions. It's like everything you don't book is something that you failed at. And all of the things that go into that failure, most of it's completely out of your control, but it's like a win is booking, therefore, if it's a binary.
Yeah, know? And that's where I get uncomfortable because I'm such a control freak in my own life that it's very hard for me to just let things go. But I feel like that's also why acting is good for me, because it's like challenging myself to do something and just let it leave my brain, because that was really hard for me growing up. Like obsessing over not booking a role and like Googling who got it and like, it was really hard for me. Like I could not get over like big roles that I really, really wanted. And I still have that a little bit in me to this day, but I've gotten better at coping.
I think a lot of actors do. And then you reach a point in your development where you start going out for too much. So like, you just like don't have that much bandwidth. Yeah. It's like, I got to cook dinner at some point. I can't just Google all the shit I didn't get.
Exactly.
And I want to go back, if you're cool with it, to chat about this idea of like, I'm 27. Should I, like...
Should I get Botox? Should I quit? should I jump off a cliff? I don't know.
I mean, like, no,
all of them,
no,
question
and
mark?
no.
The cliff, maybe, could be fun. Into water.
How high is the cliff?
Maybe
is
10
this
feet?
a symbolic leap of faith?
Yes.
Then you're fine.
Good.
This is cool.
It's a real leap of faith. Just a leap.
Into a quarry filled with water. That's how she died.
Salt water. She died beautiful.
Yeah. So, like, talk to me about this idea of like, okay, so I'm 27. So do you feel pressure to, like, is there a success metric that you're chasing right now?
Big time, but I have just had to finish your question.
No, that's go nuts. I'm curious.
I've had to like unlearn that though, because I'm past the point where I thought that everything was going to be worked out. I thought I was going to hit 25 and I was going to have a house. I was going to be like a regular on a TV show, millions of dollars, and everything was just going to fall in place.
Right.
And then I woke up at 25 and I was like, that didn't happen. Still grateful for my life and I know that I'm doing well, but like it's just it's just crazy because I started so young. Like I planned my life out so much and none of it went to plan.
Right.
So I just need to stop planning, and that's what I tell myself. But like I feel pressure to be like, I need to hit this before I'm 30. Otherwise I probably need to quit. But I know that's not correct.
Interesting.
But that's my inner thoughts.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple more years.
No, yeah. Like
I got a couple more years before I call you spiraling.
You can call me spiraling whenever you want to.
I do it often.
Yeah, it's great. That's part of it. Like we're creatives. Nobody was like, hey, look at all of those profoundly rational creatives.
True.
Like that was never a pressure that was put on us.
Yeah.
Until the internet started crucifying people for not being perfect.
Yeah.
And
not having opinions. I'm like, I just don't have an opinion. What do you want?
Yeah. Like,
I'm
why
scared
do I
to say my opinion.
What about 2 years of musical theater school made you think I was an expert in geopolitics?
Like I played Chicago. We did Chicago in my high school play, and I was number 17, the spread eagle. That was it. Like, what do you want from me? Yeah. How foul.
What do you want from me? Okay, so I do want to talk about this like because there's tremendous power in extension of the timeline. So you're 27 now.
Yeah.
So you were probably about 25 when I started working with you, hey?
Yeah, maybe 24.
Maybe 24. Yeah. And how have you grown in that time as a person? Like we've talked like we can talk about you as an actor.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about like an awareness of how much you've grown as a human being in that time.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see if you have that
I think that it's so cliche, but I actually think that 25 for women is like your brain just clicks on. I swear on my birthday, my 25th birthday, I opened my eyes and I was like, nothing matters. That's crazy. Like nothing matters. I was just like, it doesn't matter what other people think about me. It doesn't matter what I think about me. It doesn't matter like how fast or slow I'm on my pace of life. Like I feel like as long as I have goals and something that I'm striving for, I'm at peace. Whereas before 25, I was just like, oh my God, I'm not going to do this in time. Like I was just in panic mode 24/7, and I'm still kind of in panic mode, but I'm a lot more calm. And like my friends say the same thing. Like I'm more calm. I take things on the chin. I'm just like, well, I guess I just have to work through that. Whereas I would think about scenarios that would happen and like try to figure out every single reaction that I could possibly have. And then my reaction was never what I planned out to be, and it just never worked out. And I was just always stressed out and anxious all the time. And now I've just like, I don't know what the switch was. I also think it's a little bit of like confidence in my work too, like with acting, because I hold a lot of my self-worth just with acting. And that's hard, but I feel like that's kind of natural as an actor.
Can be.
Yeah. So I used to be like, hey, well, if I bomb that audition, like I'm gonna have the worst 2 weeks of my life, and everyone just has to deal with me being miserable and anxious. And now I'm just like, bombed the audition, gonna get the next one. What can I do? Like I can't control anything. That's been a big thing, like relinquishing control, and like I'm trying to do like the law of detachment thing, because I feel like if you obsess over things, it never happens. Like it's always the roles that I'm like, I want this so bad, I'll give you my kidneys, and they'll never give me a call back. But it's the roles that I'm like, this is really cool, I'm gonna do it and forget about it. And then 5 months later, I get a call back or I book it, and I'm like, wait, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So I feel like it's just a big like mental push and pull for me.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The concept of relinquishing control, it's like, I think one of the things that the older you get, the more you start to realize it was never in your control to begin with.
Exactly.
And just like how much bandwidth I have in my life devoted to trying to control it was never in my control.
Exactly. Yeah, I relate to that so much. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and then you let go a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have so much more energy.
Exactly. Yes, because I wasted so much energy waking up being like, I'm so anxious. I'm gonna plan out my day to like the hour, and if it doesn't go to plan, I'm gonna melt down.
It sounds unfun.
Yeah, it was unfun. And I was miserable, and I was probably terrible to be around. I was nonverbal because I was just like, I do that a lot where I internalize a lot of things, and I talk in my head so much. Like if anyone could get inside my brain, that would be scary. Really scary. But I go nonverbal a lot, and I'm just like stewing and thinking about things for so long, and I'm trying to let that go. Okay. Because I need to either say things out loud or just let it go, because I stew on things for too long. Well, I think I'm a grudge holder to myself.
Sure. To yourself.
And in general.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very hard on yourself, and I often like
you try to loosen that up.
to be gentle with yourself. But just full transparency, like the reason why I encourage that is because like I'm trying as well.
Exactly.
Like it's not like I'm a fucking expert at it.
No, but you are, and it's so appreciated, and you know just what to say and just the little things to get the person there.
That's nice.
Especially me.
That's nice.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So like, if I could offer like the gentlest of reframes,
Please.
For that, like, by the time I'm 30 narrative,
Yeah.
it's like, the more you elongate the timeline, the more you are going to grow and the more tools and value you're going to be bringing to
It's true.
any role that you get.
Yeah.
And we see that all the time with actors that we admire. Like nobody's looking at, ER George Clooney and being like, he's so much better than, Michael Clayton George Clooney. But it's hard to apply that to ourselves.
It is, yeah.
It has been for me. Anyway.
I'm a big person of like, I'm the therapist friend where I'm so good at giving the advice, but I'm not good at following my own advice. And
right.
It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Fair, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you mind me, because you've chosen this, like, what's really interesting is you're so clear on the suffering, like, and you even said, you're like, I take it on the chin, I move forward, and I'm a big fan of the idea of like, life is not about avoidance of suffering.
Yes.
Life is about.
You've also taught me that as well. Like you've implemented that into my work because like I said, I like to internalize things and I can push a lot of things down and then one day, then it's just not good.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's like there's much more agency in the land of like, well, I have chosen something that matters to me and suffering is a part of it.
Yeah.
But then it negates the internal victim mentality of I shouldn't be experiencing suffering. It's
exactly.
Like, this is what I love and this is why, and
I get to suffer
willing
through
to go
it.
through the suffering for it,
And I've also learned, like even just with working with you, like I've learned that all of those things just, I think, make you a better actor. Like the experiences, like David, when I was 12 years old, he was always like, go travel the world, like go experience life. Like you're not going to be a good actor unless you have experiences in your life.
That is very good
and
advice.
I always thought that I was like, you're so stupid, but he's not. I was 12 years old. I was such a brat. And I'm still a brat, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. And as I got older, I was like, that makes so much sense because you have to pull from your, like, you don't, not like a method actor type thing, but like you have to pull from your real life experiences to just like feel real and grounded in things. So that's been a big thing for me too.
I feel the idea of we are all like we are filled with the liquid of experience. The story of the script is a container. Ultimately, we want to have something to pour into it.
Exactly.
And that's
you got to
what
have a
life
heartbreak
is.
to feel the real heartbreak. You got to be look really sad and your grandma has to die, but that's okay.
Sorry, Grams.
Sorry, Grams. Loved ya.
We loved you.
Loved you. Thank you so much for the really good work in my acting.
Yeah. Thanks.
I can cry.
Every time I cry, I think of you,
Grams.
It's actually kind of a nice little like every grief response in a scene is a memorial to your.
In my brain, I'm like coffin. So.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Morbid.
Good Lord. So what do you love about it? Sorry, because you're so clear on the suffering and you're so willing. I'm like, I don't think we've ever actually talked about like why you love this so much. Yeah,
that's fair.
I'm curious.
And it took me a really long time to even figure it out myself because it just like, for me, it's kind of hard to express the way that I feel inside. We've talked about that too. Like it's hard for me to verbalize the words that go through my brain because there's just so many things buzzing through.
I feel like one of the things that I don't know if I've actually told you this. I feel like sometimes with people that I coach, I'm like, I might have an understanding of something and then I don't necessarily communicate it.
Yeah.
Not because I'm trying to keep anything from you, but just because we're trying to solve a problem in an hour.
Yeah.
But I often watch you processing in a take and I'm like, oh, she's just experiencing so much in one moment that it almost like feels like difficult to me it feels as though it must be difficult to filter it into a prism that's useful to you.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's like so much and it's all valuable. It's like an embarrassment of riches.
Yes.
And I watch you work and I'm like, oh, there's so much happening here and sometimes you just need a little direction into like which colors are useful to you.
Yes, the colors thing really, it drives in my brain. That makes sense to me a lot because it's like, that makes so much sense. Like there's so many like rainbows in my brain that I'm like, which color do I pick? Is that the right color?
Right.
And then I'm like, is it the right color? Tell me.
Right. Yeah.
And you're usually like, yes.
Or
no.
Yeah. Or like, and it's like useful or not in that moment.
Exactly.
And I think one of the things that's really helped to you is us being like, it's all useful.
Yeah.
It's just not all applicable at one time, right? Like, like, if like you are a Swiss Army knife, you never need to open a bottle of wine on a battlefield until you do. And then you're like, thanks, Switzerland.
Exactly.
And
Switzerland is so good.
So say more. Go further with this. Like what you love and what.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to verbalize things. So as I've gotten older, I really think that it's just about like storytelling.
Yeah.
Like I love being like the bitchy, funny little character, but even in just my day-to-day, like when I tell my friends stories or like something that's happened to me, I'm like, I can't wait to get my friends in front of me so I can fully act it out and they can feel every emotion, like every little piece of context.
Right.
So I've come to the conclusion that I think it's just about like storytelling and like playing dress up and like playing pretend and like jumping into other people's lives and seeing if I could do it. Like I feel like it's always like a challenge for me. And I love feeling challenged, and it just feels very fulfilling. Like it's more like a feeling to me, like when I'm doing auditions, when I'm working with you, when I'm on set, like I just feel very whole and complete. And I think that's just why I love it. Like I don't even have a specific reason. And I love movies, I love TV shows. I spend so much of my time watching and consuming content. And I just love to be a part of it. I think it's just simple as that.
That's a really beautiful reason to love something.
Yeah.
Like that, like that idea of it feels
and like evoking an
whole and
emotion
complete.
from somebody. Like I like when I'm telling a story and my friends are dying, laughing, crying, I'm like, yes, like that makes me feel so happy. Or if we're doing an audition, I'm like, I can finally get my one tear out. I'm like so excited during the scene that the one tear is falling perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it's like a little pat on the back for me.
That perfect little John Woo tear.
Yes.
Yeah, we love
so
that.
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, I open my eyes like this for 10 minutes before my tape. If we ever go back to real casting rooms, I'm screwed.
Yeah, right. So you've liked the modern, like
I go back and forth on it because I really like being able to work with you and doing it as many times as we need to get it right. But I also feel like a lot of the time, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I am sometimes a personality hire. Like when I go into a room, I feel like I can feed off of the energy of casting or whoever's in the room, and I can just show them like just a little bit of my personality and like what it's like to just be on set with me. And I swear I'll be fun and happy and sweet and I'll do my job. And I feel like that's moved the needle for me a little bit when I was younger. So I feel like it's harder with self-tapes because it's just like a talking head.
Yep.
So I'm trying to find like different ways to be creative with my self-tapes now.
Yeah.
Slowly dabbling into that.
Yeah, and I find slates are a great way to just like have a little twist of some.
Yeah, we were talking about that with the girl who booked the Elwood's job.
Yeah.
Like her genius to do her slate as this is blah 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 and this is why I think I would be good for Elwood's, and she did every scene like just genius.
Yeah, so smart.
So good. I did a self-tape the other day and it was supposed to be in a hotel room, like a horror film.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing it this time. I'm going to film it like an actual, I'll show it to you later. I'll film it like an actual movie per se. And I sent it to my parents and their bias, but they were like, felt like I was really watching the movie. I loved that. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to try doing this more often so it's a little more interesting. But
yeah, that's
just the hard thing is like setting yourself aside from other people's in a self-tape. I feel like it's a little bit easier when you're in the room.
Yeah, I think so too. If you are comfortable in your own skin, which you definitely are.
Yeah,
right?
and
well,
yeah,
it's
like
funny because you are introverted, and yet in those situations,
I'm comfortable in my skin, but I'm not. Like it's weird. Like I am when I need to be.
Right.
Like I know when to turn it on, and I don't know how or why that happened, but I'm grateful that I can turn it on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How old were you when you moved to LA?
Good question. So when pilot season was still like a big thing, I missed that. What a rush. So I would go to LA for pilot season with my mom since I was like 13.
Oh,
so we would go for like 3 months. My mom would like sign me out of school. I would get all my work for 3 months. Honestly, my teachers were really nice and gave me a lot of grace and let me just like flourish and do my thing because that's wild that I was allowed to be out of school, but art school. So I've been going since I was 13. I would stay for 3 months and then I would come back. I didn't even have my work papers at the time. And then I got my work papers, I think when I was 17 or 18.
Sure.
And then I got an agent in LA and that's kind of just it. Like I've been there for a while. Now I'm realizing how long it's been.
So what drew you out there?
I always wanted to go to LA, like even on just a surface level of just like, I want to see palm trees. I want to be on the beach. Like I wasn't raised like on a beach and like in like sunshine. Like I was raised here, which is like, I'm a big city girl and I still love it here, but I always just wanted to be like sunshine, palm trees, driving around like Warner Brothers studios. Like I just thought it was so cool. That's my first, thank you. I just thought it was so cool. And I needed to get there some way, somehow. And my mom was very supportive of it too. She loved being in LA. So it was like, we could just go like kiki together.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I was auditioning so much here in Toronto, and I like every casting director, I was like, I know you so well now. Like it just felt like second nature to me. And I was like, I feel like I need, not that I've exhausted everything in Toronto because there's always room for more, but I felt like I just needed a challenge of like new girls, like new faces, new casting directors. I need to just like dip my toes in the water, because I was like, if I'm taking this balls to the wall, I feel like you have to be in LA. In my brain. Nowadays, not so much, but at that
the world
time,
changed a lot.
Yeah, at that time, you had to be in LA for all of the auditions, to meet people, to network. Like, you had to be there. So I think that's also what drew me to. I was like, this is a step that I have to take if I want to achieve what I want to achieve. Right. And now I kind of go like back and forth.
Right.
But I'm mostly there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because you left and kind of never looked back, which I think is great, which a lot of...
I didn't intend to do that either. Like, I thought I was always going to be like a couple months at a time. But I vividly remember being in my Ryerson business class. I went to Ryerson for 3 weeks.
I was like, the Ryerson business class? That's not on brand at all.
Exactly. So long story short, I was like, I'm going to do the university thing. Like, I really thought that was another thing that I planned for myself that just wasn't happening. I was like, I'm going to live here, and I'm going to live with this friend, and then I'm going to do 4 years of Ryerson, and then it didn't happen. I started out with the acting program. They accepted me, and then they told me that I had to quit professional acting. So I said, well, I don't know about that.
That's always been...
I'm like, why?
I'm like, should I talk about Ryerson?
Yes.
And I'm like, Ryerson's not even called Ryerson anymore.
Literally. Come on.
I don't understand that.
It still doesn't make sense to me.
Like, hey, you're a professional actor.
Quit.
You should have to quit in order to take our program. It's
They're like, you need to fire your agent.
And it's not just Ryerson. Like there's a reason why nobody graduates from Juilliard. It's because they're all like, oh, I'm good now. I can go work.
I auditioned for Juilliard. That was another thing that I was like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, like people do graduate from Juilliard, but like not many.
Wouldn't have been me either.
Yeah, that's and also like
it's wild.
It's not like it's a world-renowned acting program.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm just like
I couldn't agree with you more. So then I was like, no,
and
then I was like, well, I guess I'll do an English major. What? In what? So I was sitting in my lectures and I was like, what the f am I doing here? Like, what am I doing here? I don't even understand what you're saying right now. Like, nothing was sinking in my brain. I didn't know where my classes were. I hated it.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know how I got to this point, but I'm here. And
we were talking about going, like, living all in LA.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought I was going to do. And then I booked the Stanley Dynamic, which was like a kids' TV show. And then I was working 5 days a week, and I said, bye, Ryerson, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then I went to LA, and I literally never looked back. I know there was another point to that, and I'll probably get to it in 30 minutes. But
you were talking about like a lot of Canadian actors being sort of half in, half out, which is it's very admirable to me. This is why it's so fascinating to me when you bring up the like, well, I'm 27, am I going to make it? Because you're like, you do bring up that narrative a lot.
Yeah, it's because it's like, always on my mind.
But you're so fucking all in.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting thing how that story's still a part of your life when it does not determine your actions at all.
I know. I feel like it's also just being like, I hate to be that girl, but like it's also just being like a woman. Like,
say more.
I feel like 30 is always the age where women are like, I have to have every single fucking thing in order, otherwise I should die. Like, what am I doing here?
Oh,
and and now I'm just like, that's just not true. Like, I don't need to be married and have a child by 30. Like, I'll be fine. I don't even want to get married or have a child at 30. So like, why do I feel like that's something that I need to hit if that's not even like a thing in my brain that I'm thinking about? Like, I could have a baby when I'm 40 if I want.
Yeah.
But then I go back and I'm like, but should I? It's always a teeter-totter in my brain. Again, a diagnosis.
The complexities of being alive.
Yeah.
All under an umbrella. I mean, that all does make sense. I think those like pressures, there's all sorts of imperatives and stories, or like societal stories around that stuff. You know, I obviously in a male context, but I mean,
Still valid, though.
I'm turning 40 in like a month.
Hell yeah, let's get drunk.
And on and I
the 40-year-old virgin part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
It's like what? Who booked this waxing appointment? Why?
It's me.
Eliana.
That was an aggressive
Why did I agree to this? But it's interesting because like coming up to that, I'm like looking at my life now and I'm like, oh, if I die at 80, I'm like in the middle of Act 2, right? It's like, man, like middle of Act 2.
Middle of Act 2, it's crazy.
And I'm like, this is, and this is when all this shit is like happening.
Yeah.
In the story of my life, and I think about that as well. I'm like, have I, like, in some ways I'm successful, in other ways I'm catastrophically not. And
it's all about perception.
It so is, and it's like at the end of the day, I think my metric is when I go to bed at night, I'm like, did I live a purposeful day?
Yep.
Like, was it true to my purpose?
Exactly, yeah.
And it seems to me like that's kind of
me as well.
Your metric as well.
Yeah, I always wants to cuddle.
I just keep moving. I'm like, it's so sharp.
In my eye.
You plant.
I love that. That's always been like my motto. Like, that's crazy. I said it's my motto and it's out of my brain. What did you just say?
The purposeful. Purposeful day.
I have to sleep with myself at night. So that's always been my thing of like, I conduct my day and myself of like, I want to be peaceful and sleep like a little baby when I'm in bed.
Right.
And I do.
That's great.
So I'm happy. Sometimes I don't, but for the most part, I'm peaceful little sleepy baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you think of yourself as like a wine that is just going to get better and better and better and better, the more that as you like, one, I have no doubt that you're going to book something. Well, we know there's something on the horizon for you, which is great. We can't say it, but audience. There's some really exciting shit happening.
Yeah,
which
I'm
is
very
great.
excited for that.
But also just like, I mean, you've been having Taylor Sheridan screen tests. You've been having like, you've been like meeting some of the most high-profile showrunners. And
I always
on
forget
the
about
planet.
that, so I appreciate you reminding me.
Well, it's tough because they don't come with any fucking paychecks.
They don't, and it's even harder because it's like, I don't know if like other people know this, but like when you do a screen test, you're signing your contract and you're seeing like the amount of money, the amount of like how many years you're going to be on it, like just basically how much your life is going to change in 24 hours. And then if you don't book it, bye.
Yeah.
And it's like it never happened, and I'm still looking at those contracts being like, right.
Yeah. And that's like, in so many ways it's incredible.
Yeah.
In so many ways it's like we are dead tired at the end of a marathon that we've been running at a sprint for our entire lives, and they're like, hey, finish line?
Yeah, I'm like,
and you're like, that would be so nice.
2 more miles?
Yeah,
Okay.
2 more miles.
All right.
And then it just keeps going and going.
Do we have water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so in so many ways it's like it is wonderful, and it's a problem that a previous version of you would have killed to have. And
that's very true.
And yet that perspective is impossible in the moment.
Exactly. Hindsight is 20/20.
Exactly.
Yeah, 12-year-old, I try to say that to myself. I'm like, 12-year-old me would just be would think that I'm so cool.
Yeah, but 12-year-old me was a dumbass.
Me too.
Like, I'm not, like, I'm just...
12-year-old me was a fucking brat.
Yeah. So
but she would be like, that girl's so cool. And like, that makes me happy that I think that 12-year-old me would be proud of me.
Yeah, I think she would. Yeah. Absolutely.
And 12-year-old you would be proud of you.
I think so too. And he wasn't a dumbass. I mean, he didn't know
maybe
much,
a little, but that's
that was
okay.
because he was young.
Yeah.
So you're also getting more and more into writing.
Yeah.
Which
dabbling.
Is super cool to me. Well, but this is also like, you are all in everything. Like, you're dabbling, and I chat with you for like, I'm like, helping you brainstorm a bit of a concept, and then like 3 weeks later, you're like, so I wrote the pilot. And I'm like,
I call that mania.
When? But like, you don't dabble.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I don't dabble because you're so right.
Like, it's such a superpower, and I don't think you're aware that you possess it.
Yeah,
you're like
I guess.
Superman if he just keeps taking the fucking bus for some reason.
Because I can't. If I have an idea, like I can't fucking sleep at night unless I finish it. Because then I'm like, you're not doing enough. Like I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not like pushing myself hard enough, or I'm like rotting in bed too much. I'm like, well, if I write this script, then I could rot for 2 hours and feel happy about myself.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I think like that. Like once I have an idea, I need to see it completely through. Otherwise, I feel like about myself.
Okay.
But I think that's good because I used to be the person that would have like, I have so many ideas, and then I would like start them off and then be like, meep. But I hate that, so I try to not be that person.
So what about writing is lighting you up right now? Because it's clearly lighting you up.
Yeah, it's lighting me up because it gives me control. I think that's the big part of it, is that I can write what I think is funny, or like, I just like the little weird things in my brain, like I could just write them out. And it's hard for me though because it's very vulnerable, and I have a very big problem with being vulnerable. because it's being vulnerable is being seen, and I feel like it's very scary to be seen in your true form because you don't know what the other person's gonna think. But it doesn't matter. It's okay.
I'd love to unpack that a bit.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
We can come
So
back to
so it's I think it's just a control thing for me, and I just a lot of these ideas that I have where I'm like I just see TV shows and I'm like it would be so cool if like that was a TV show, and I'm like well then why don't I just write that? I have no writing experience, but like Amalia went to school for that, and like she's so great at writing, and I just even like having good people around you like you or Amalia or David to like bounce ideas off of, and like hey, am I doing this right? Like is this the proper format? Like I've also said this to you, it's a very hard thing for me to ask for help. So I think that writing is also a good way to get out of my comfort zone with that, where like I need to ask for help with that because I can't do it on my own. It has to be like a collaborative effort. So I like trying, I don't like trying new things. That's a lie, but I like having, like that's just a straight up lie. But I like having control over the new things that I try.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It has to be on my terms.
The idea of, I think maybe the idea of having difficulty asking for help makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like that.
In every aspect of my life, acting, my personal life, everything. It's just, I want to do things on my own and independently. Otherwise I feel like
for sure.
like a loser.
Something that like I think about a lot, and because I have historically had a difficult time asking for help and sometimes still do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to creativity, remember that ideas are a currency. Like ideas are valuable. So when you're asking people, like when you brought, we don't, like I don't know if you want to talk about the context of the project. We probably shouldn't because we don't want people to steal it. But when you brought that to me first, I was like, oh, this idea has tremendous value to it.
Yeah.
And so there's something about you bringing, like creating the mentality of I'm bringing value into the lives of the people that I'm asking to
That's
help
a really
me.
good way to look at it, actually.
Because you're like, hey, look at this thing. And it's like,
whereas
it's
I
not
see
a
it
pile
where
of
I'm
dog
like,
shit. It's like a fucking diamond.
I'm like, hey, would you like mind helping me on this? Like, it's not a big deal if you can't. Like, all good. Like, I just feel so uncomfortable that I'm like burdening somebody with my script.
Yeah, but like,
what?
but also like people can say no.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
You know, like there's all sorts of people that didn't invest in Facebook but could have.
True. Yeah, I'm trying to relinquish that control too, where I'm just like, that's another 25 thing. I'm like, if I have an idea, there are so many like directors and producers that I've just shot a DM to on Instagram because I'm like, F it, nobody's gonna know that I sent that. If you see it, awesome. If you never saw it, even better. And so like, whenever I get famous one day, there's gonna be a lot of people being like, I got a weird DM
from this Eliana Jones.
Being like, so I have an idea.
Yeah.
And it's like me manic at 3 a.m. being like, SZA, I think that if you did this for your music video, it would be really sick. And then I'm like, mental illness? Maybe. Good idea though.
And like the courage to send it. It's like you're so fucking all in on everything. And this is an important thing because it's like, and I don't want to like artificially inflate your ego, but like the ideas that you have are good, and ideas are a scarce resource.
Yeah, see, the way that I see it is like I only have an idea, like I have nothing else to offer.
Yeah, that's like being like I have a plot of land and there's gold in it. Like it's like sure we might
can't find the gold though.
Yeah, but like that's what other people are for.
Yeah,
they help,
exactly.
Right? Like that's super important.
Yeah, so the writing is helping me feel comfortable with that.
That's wonderful, and probably is going to be perhaps something that I want to go back to the vulnerability thing.
Yeah.
Not because I'm going to be like on this podcast, let's rip open your soul.
Yeah.
Like that's not the purpose of this podcast. Yeah. But because this is something, you know, for the past 3-ish years, 2.5-ish years we've been working together, you've made great strides in vulnerability.
Yeah, it's been hard for me since I started acting. Like that's always been the constant note from every coach, every director, everyone that I've worked with is like, what's up with like the discomfort of vulnerability? And I'm like, I'm more uncomfortable now that you just asked me that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we like, are you okay with me talking a little bit about our process?
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool, because I'm more than happy to keep that.
No, I love our process.
But one of the things that like right out of the gate, we started talking about like, well, yeah, you need armor. Like the world,
I've just built up too much of it.
Well, I think it's like I don't even think there's a too much. It's just that like hits aren't coming from those angles anymore, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't shed them. And
it's not. You say like 12-year-old me is not driving the bus anymore, and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I say that to myself as well. Like there were, you know, and And so gradually we've been able to sort of like let go of things that are no longer necessary.
Right.
And then that frees you up and makes you more accessible.
It just makes you feel lighter, honestly.
Yeah, but also like life does come at you with sledgehammers and you
Absolutely.
need shields. Like that's important. And so I'm curious, by way of vulnerability and exploring vulnerability, do you feel like writing and the creation of stories that aren't uniquely, because acting, you are like I'm in front of the camera. This is me, right? Like I can say that this is a character and like it is.
It is, but is it?
But it's like
this is some part of me.
Yeah, it's
somewhere.
all out of my
This is
self-contained
living in my
shit.
spleen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Spleen acting day, the best day at theater school.
So good.
Yeah, but do you find that writing helps with the exploration of vulnerability because it's the exploration of self through others?
It's yes and no for me, because when I'm in front of the camera, I understand how that is vulnerable, but in my brain, it's like I'm saying other people's words. I'm in somebody else's skin. I'm in somebody else's clothes. I feel like I'm more hidden.
Fascinating.
But
Even
then when
in
I'm
front of the camera.
yeah, I feel more comfortable in front of the camera because I'm like, you're not actually really seeing me.
Right.
Which is it's so weird. But then when I'm writing,
sense.
I'm like, these are actual words from my brain that I think are funny, but other people might not. And like my fingers are typing it, and I feel more vulnerable writing than being in front of the camera.
It's super admirable then that you're doing it.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. And even just like sending a script is like very big for me.
That's big for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't feel like this could be sad, but like I don't feel like I deserve to be writing because I don't have like any experience or like any. But I guess that's how everybody starts.
Yeah, nobody has experience until they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's at the end of the day you and like but I can understand that.
Because I'm always like, does anybody really care about what I have to say? I even said that to you too about like doing the podcast. I'm like, but are you sure? Like, do you really like? Does anybody really care? That's sad, actually. Whoa.
Well, I
but
mean,
you get me.
it's a question with an answer that you cannot answer yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's like.
I'm like, so are you gonna answer my question?
Yes. Yes is the answer. But it's interesting you bring that up because I like for a really long time like I've been a coach since I was like 23.
Hell yeah.
And the internet has existed the whole fucking time.
Did it ever?
And at any point in time, I could have been like, I should start a YouTube channel. What about a podcast? Mm-hmm. But I also felt like, well, do I have anything valuable? Is anybody going to find anything valuable?
And yes, and that's crazy for you to say too, because like I think that you have everything valuable to say.
Well, and this is the crazy thing about it. And then for the entire, like we're almost a year deep. It'll be like a year next month, the YouTube channel. And still to this day, when I put something out, I'm like, I feel like, am I an imposter?
Imposter syndrome is so real.
Yeah. And so I understand that. But what's really interesting is it's like, there's two real questions for me that I've found. One is, that's a question I can't answer.
Yeah.
Because that is actually only answerable by the people who are or are not going to consume your content. And
true.
Sometimes on the internet, that's like people who, you know, for some reason
Trolls.
wandered into your burger shop. All they wanted was a chicken sandwich and they were like, beef
Oh
forever. Yes. It's like, guys, God, chicken shops exist.
Just a little chicken.
Fuck.
I love that.
And there's I had to start asking the question, do I feel as though I am bringing value to people's lives?
Ooh, that's a big one.
I shifted that to start thinking of myself as a lighthouse.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of seeing it.
Well, and I've kind of tried to like apply that a little more to myself as an actor and as a writer as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like all I can really do is be like, well, this is my beacon.
Yeah.
And those who feel like that can help them, whether it's entertain them or teach them or whatever, like they're gonna point their ship at that lighthouse.
Entertain is so good. That's also why I love acting. I love entertaining.
Me too. And this
storytelling and entertaining. It's just tickles me.
This is such a pet peeve of mine too, with the way like somehow, like one, I think that there's an antagonistic element to the media now. This is something that Brie Larson, I think, figured out, is that like the people who are interviewing her are not her friend. Yes. They are trying to manipulate her into a clickbait answer.
Exactly that.
And she's now just like not answering questions.
Which I respect.
It's like something Tom Cruise did years and years and years ago. He started being like, I can't remember, it might have been Matt Lauer, that he like held the task, he's like, that's not a particularly fair question, is it?
I love that.
He made him like actually, you know,
Uncomfortable.
and biggest movie star on the planet, you have that clout. But
what a treat.
But there's like it's like all of a sudden we're being asked almost to do everything but lean into the value of what giving entertainment to people is, which is so f***ing valuable.
It's everywhere. Like how, like if we have no TV or a movie, or like you have nothing to do, like there's so much value in the entertainment industry, and we don't get enough credit.
I mean, like, you know, when we're doing it, we get paid a lot, and then we also do just like give ourselves trophies every year. So it's like, maybe there's credit. It's just like I haven't gotten enough of it.
Like me personally, I don't have the Oscar.
I think you should get more credit.
I think you should get more credit.
Well, thanks.
I'm gonna get a 3D printer, and we could have our own Oscars.
This is wonderful. The Academy Award goes to both of us.
Hell yeah.
So, so what about? I'm gonna like curveball you right now, and you don't have to answer. So, what about vulnerability scares you?
You know what? I'll give you just that in itself. You've asked me this before, and I think that I finally have an answer. I think it's just like also something that I'm trying to unlearn. I think being vulnerable is embarrassing.
Interesting.
Embarrassing, like the feeling of embarrassment is such a big thing for me, and I'm trying to unlearn it because I have to stop living my life thinking that everything is cringe. Like everything that I do is cringe. I'm like, oh my God, like me walking across the street does not need to feel cringe. Like, why? Sure. I'm walking and I'm like, probably like such an idiot. These people are just looking at me the first time I'm wearing a baseball hat and they all know. So I think it's just like, vulnerability is embarrassing to me, but I also know that that's not correct. Like that's a big thing for me of like, I know what the right answer is, but sometimes it takes me a while to like actually get there. I know it internally. That's why I say that I don't need therapy when I do, because I'm like, the therapist is going to tell me all these things and I'm going to be like, I know. What now?
and that follow-up is what the therapist is for.
Right.
What now? Well, glad you asked.
Well,
and also very useful to be in therapy. But
diagnosis.
Well, less that and more just like peeling layers of the onion.
Yeah.
Like we are the way.
But honestly, like my sessions with you, I view as therapy sessions.
To a degree, like this is something that's come up. Like it came up with Amalia. Yeah. It came up with Julia Schneider as well. Like, because it's like for a long time I tried to be the acting coach that was like, leave your baggage at the door and you know like
I've had
not
so
a
many
therapist.
like that, and they never worked for me.
And like I would still say I'm not, and also I'm like I don't know how to be a good coach if I'm not helping actors bring their true self to the material.
Yeah.
Like there are coaches who are so good at that like leave your shit at the door coaching. It's not my game.
I have
like I'm also not like the stab your trauma. Like I
but
really
just
aggressively
enough.
don't do that.
You know, you don't at all, and you are very you're very like caring and with people's feelings. Like I feel like you ask before you ask the question, like if it's okay, and I resonate with that a lot. And I
didn't always do that, but I do now.
I love it, and I feel I've gone to so many acting coaches, and God bless them all. They've all given me like little parts to like add to myself, but I always have been an acting coach hater. And like you could ask David this, he was always on my ass being like, you need to get into an acting class, you need to go to an acting coach, like there's always more things to learn. And I'm like, I understand that, but I don't feel like I'm retaining anything. Right. Like the acting classes, I would sit there and my brain would be in 500 different places while other people are doing their classes and like just getting bullied by the coach. And I'm like, I need to be at home right now. Like you're bullying me right now, like stop. And that's why like your approach was just so different, and I still feel so comfortable, and like you actually care about me as a person and me as an actor, and just letting the most beautiful and the ugly things about me flourish. Right. And I think that like leaning into it is just such a big thing. Like I never had an acting coach be like, lean into how quirky you are, like that will work. Yeah. I've always been like, I have to peel that away for it to work here, because I've had imposter syndrome where I'm like, am I actually a good actor, or am I just playing different versions of myself? That's a big one for me, and I don't know what the answer is.
I mean, all acting is playing different versions.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm
like, but is this just my personality?
Well, but like think of like it's not an apples to apples comparison. Yeah. But like you can use a piano to play jazz, and you can use it to play Brahms. The piano is still a piano. Right, like we are the instrument. Yeah. The music changes, but nobody's like, that piano sounds like a drum kit now. Like that doesn't exist. Yeah. It is a like we are our
yeah, and
self-contained
like that
instrument.
And like those are the like I'm always like I just want to be different from other people. Like I get really uncomfortable when I am like similar to other
Yes.
people, and you've taught me that like those are the things that make me different.
You
and
are
stand
so
out.
different from other people.
Thanks.
Right? Like, no, but in like a really wonderful way.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So can we go back to like your answer? I want to talk about the concise answer to like why you feared vulnerability.
Right.
But I have lost the train of how like your concise answer. What was it?
My concise answer is kind of like just embarrassment. Like
Right.
So I like when I'm vulnerable, I feel embarrassed.
Yeah. Do
like
you mind
immediately.
if I like so that like purely from an evolutionary standpoint, like it's because if you're rejected, then like our bodies think we're dying.
Yeah, literally.
Like
yeah.
shame is an incredibly powerful motivator.
Yeah, and like I'm one of those people that if I'm like my face gets beet red and then I'm embarrassed that my face is beet red, like it's you could see it all over my face, and then I'm like, okay, well I don't want that to come out anymore because I'm so uncomfortable that I just throw it away.
Right.
Yeah.
You've become
I'm trying to get more comfortable
so
with
much
it.
more comfortable in discomfort. I gotta say.
Thanks.
Like it's and there is a direct correlation to like the stuff that you are getting close to and or booking or being offered.
It's true, yeah, because like there were a lot of times where if I saw like a drama and it was like you have to be emotional in this, I'd be like, well, I'm not gonna book that, so I don't even know why I'm gonna try. And that's just like a wild way to think about things. Like I, for a long time, was like, you're only gonna book like the bitchy cheerleader girls or like the comedy every now and then if you get lucky. And it's because I was not pulling out so many parts of myself that are beautiful and useful and like funny and silly and quirky that I wasn't even tapping into a whole side of myself that should have been shown.
Yeah, well, and it's also like the industry meets you aesthetically first.
Yeah,
right?
which is weird.
But it's also true of everything. Like when you're like, if I'm traveling to a foreign country and I'm like in Germany and I'm like, hello, German person, I'm making a visual assessment of them before I'm like, well, I clearly understand the depths and intricacies of your personality.
Yeah.
Like the industry meets you aesthetically first. And so all those opportunities, they're going to be derivative of your aesthetic. And then gradually as you've grown, this is why you can't put a timeline on yourself.
I know, it's
because
true.
the industry gets to know you better and better and better and has more access to you.
Yeah, and now I found like, I love that. Like I want people to see the deep, dark, weird things about me because I'm like, that's what makes me a cool person. Like that's what makes me me.
Yes.
Whereas I was like, when I was younger, I just thought that if I put out this perfectly little person that like was kind of funny but not really, like I would never really lean into it, or like being quirky or weird or anything. I would never lean into it because I was like, well, that's just not my vibe. Like that's not the vibe that people get from me.
Right.
But now I like to throw people off. I just throw people off.
And even watching you say that is like, it's like I want to get into the fight.
Yeah,
which is
I do.
so important. And again, I go back to this, like there is no halfway with you.
Yeah.
And you also seem, this is something that like I'll talk to, every now and then I'll talk to Bree. Because like Bree will post something on her Instagram and you'll like message and be like, your skin looks so good, or like slay or whatever. And I'm like, Eliana is just so herself.
I'm balls to the wall or nothing at all.
It's so valuable.
Thank you. You either get this full personality or nonverbal, and I don't have it in between.
Yeah, which I think, I mean, is already serving you, but is like just going to continue to serve you and serve you and serve you. And like literally text messages that you've gotten from some really phenomenal people lately that like are literally saying that. Like, hey.
Like just a little pat on the back. I'm like, okay, so I'm not an imposter. I'm doing it. Like I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
I tend to kind of like, as we sort of bring this thing into land, I tend to ask, I haven't done it for every podcast, but I've done it for a lot. If there's any piece of advice that you could give to like, just start now, like 12-year-old Ellie. And the answer can be like, no, like, that's a perfectly valid thing. But do you have anything that pops into your mind?
I would tell 12-year-old me to just not give a fuck. Like that's, because now if I could go back to like 21 years old with the brain that I have now, I would have the time of my life, but you have to grow and get there. But I think 12-year-old me needs to just lean into it, lean into the personality, don't give a f***, and balls to the wall.
Yeah. I feel like if like there are teenage actors who are listening to this, that I think so much of being a teenager is just trying to hide.
Teenage angst. Yeah, it is. It's so much hiding, and it's just like, you have to just peel, like, that's what makes you appealing, is peeling off the layers and being like, this is me, bitch.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it, but I think you should take it because I'm pretty cool.
And it's like, people are going to like you or not like you regardless
and you can't control that.
Exactly. And you can't control it even if you're trying to, like,
I would also tell 12-year-old me
inoffensive
that.
to everyone.
Yeah,
right?
I would tell 12-year-old me to relinquish the control. That, baby, you can't control everything and you just need to accept that.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes...
Because that probably would have helped me a lot in my teenage years of just like, you can, like, no matter how much you do, you can't control everything. And that was really hard for me.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a really big one.
Yeah. And that vulnerability is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Which you won't believe, but it is.
And you're like, it's great too, because it's like, I feel like opening up to vulnerability, which you have been doing, it's like compounding interest. It gets easier and easier.
Well,
and easier.
even this is like vulnerable for me. Like me saying yes to doing this was like a step out of my comfort zone because like I said, like I didn't think I really had anything to like offer, but here I am yapping.
Yeah.
So thanks.
You got lots to offer.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they want to find you on socials and stuff? You're pretty active.
Instagram is really the only one that I use, at Eliana Jones.
Great.
I'm gonna start writing. Hopefully a TV show will come out soon.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You're gonna be on season 5 of Shoresy.
Season 5 of Shoresy.
Season 4 of Shoresy just
came out. Hulu,
so.
Crave. Very funny, very raunchy.
Yeah.
But I like that.
Yeah.
It's my motto.
Awesome.
Funny and raunchy.
Yeah. Yeah. I genuinely feel like working with you and having the opportunity, like, listen, you made a mention of like not getting along with acting coaches.
And not a dig to the other acting coaches. I just didn't.
No. Yeah.
I just didn't drive with them.
Well, I'm not right for everybody either. Like, you know, it's different, but it means a lot to me that that you were willing to sort of stick it out with me and
well, same to you. Like, you really stuck it out with me and like pulled everything out that needed to be pulled out, and still a work in progress.
Yeah, I would say it's more like helping you lay a foundation that's helpful to you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's pulling anything out. Like, it's all there.
It's also just creating a safe space. Like I said, like once I feel safe, then my personality comes out freely.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I get to work with you, it makes my day better.
Me too.
And I really appreciate you. And thanks so much.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah, it's like an hour is gone. I'm like,
it felt like 2 minutes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So cool.
Tiger pants.
Yeah, love it.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Feel like we got it, guys?
Wow, guys.
All right, so thank you so much for still being here. If you're here at the end of this thing, every time I record these outros, I'm so grateful that there are people who are here at the end of this podcast. It's like friggin' wild to me that there are, and more of you are showing up, and it's friggin' great. So I just want to take this time to say thank you. Check us out, follow us at Nyback Act on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere socials can be found. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. These things go a really, really, really long way. Share the video. And if you're on Spotify or you're on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're getting your podcasts, 5-star ratings, subscribing, these things make a huge difference. So I thank you so much for being here. If you really want to support the podcast, you can head on over to our Patreon. It is loaded with all sorts of extra stuff, bloopers, behind the scenes, put up a monthly blog post. All of my online acting courses are available there, as well as I film full-on coachings with some of my most elite clients. They're on there. There's a lot of value on there. The whole thing with the Patreon is that it hugely supports us, and I want to make sure that it hugely supports you. So if you're interested, go on, check it out. Appreciate you very much, and go be people.